This is a story that happened on Christmas Eve, when I was a little child, believing in the existence of Santa Claus. One night, when the whole family was fast asleep, I woke up thirsty. I decided to go downstairs to get a glass of water, not knowing that that night would be a terrifying memory that I would never forget. In the dark, I walked through the living room and kitchen, where the night lights were still on. Everything seemed peaceful, but I could not have expected that a strange noise coming from the living room would change everything. A rustling sound came from the corner of the room, where the Christmas tree was being decorated. I thought it might be my mother, so I went closer, but then suddenly the noise stopped. I went down a few more stairs, turned on the nightlight next to the sofa, and I saw a tall man wearing a red suit and a Santa hat. He turned and smiled, waving me over. I went closer to him, nervous and excited. He stroked my hair and said he was handing me a present from a giant black bag. I looked into the bag curiously, but he stopped me, saying it was a surprise gift. He led me up the stairs, reminding me to be very quiet. When I reached the top of the stairs, I looked back and saw the figure of Santa Claus standing downstairs, looking up at me with a strange look. I closed the door, filled with happiness because I had met Santa Claus. The next morning when I woke up, I heard my mother screaming from downstairs. I ran downstairs and discovered a very strange scene. The living room window was broken, not broken glass, but it had been pushed so hard that it was out of the frame. All the presents were gone. When I told my parents the story about Santa Claus, they panicked and called the police. Eventually, the police said that there was a man dressed as Santa Claus who broke into the homes of accessible families and stole Christmas presents. I was shocked and forced to accept that Santa Claus was just a myth, but from then on, every Christmas Eve, I always felt scared, wondering if someone would break into my house like that night. One Christmas Eve, I was a security guard at a large shopping mall. I was on my night shift alone, and as usual, everything was pretty quiet. But that night, something happened that I couldn't explain. I was working around the mall area, where the Christmas tree was decorated splendidly. Suddenly, from a distance, I saw a light in a store turn on. The store had already turned off the lights, and I was the only one left. I ran to the store, tried to open the door, but it was still locked. But strangely, when I turned back, I saw a shadow of a human head appear behind the counter. Just a head, and then the shadow disappeared as soon as the lights went out. I stood there trying to regain my composure, but then I heard hurried footsteps in the hallway. I ran after the sound, and when I reached a small hallway, I heard breathing and crying coming from the bathroom. As soon as I opened the bathroom door, I saw a strange man sitting in a bathroom stall, looking at me with cold eyes. I immediately left and called the police. When they arrived, this man was already arrested. And the scary thing was, he knew my name. Last Christmas, I was assigned to babysit my little sister Rachel. My family had just moved into this house, and everything seemed peaceful until one night, strange noises started coming from the baby monitor. My sister was in her crib, and I was sitting in the living room watching TV. But then, I heard strange noises through the monitor. At first, I thought it was just her voice, but then it didn't sound like Rachel's. When I went into her room, Rachel pointed at the bathroom door, where there was no one. I thought it was her imagination. But then, I heard a strange whispering sound from the surveillance camera. And when I went back to her room, I saw the bathroom door wide open. When I looked in, I saw a man standing in the bathroom, walking towards me and Rachel. I immediately grabbed her and ran outside, went to the neighbor's house and called the police. It was strange. The police didn't find anyone in the house, but I always felt like something was wrong. It wasn't until a few weeks later, when I was moving things into the attic, that I discovered a bed hidden in a corner. That's where the stranger might have been hiding. These three stories have one thing in common. Christmas is not always a time of joy and happiness. Strange things can happen right in your own home. Always be careful and never ignore suspicious signs. Thank you for watching the video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next stories.